Today, it was reported that Novak Djokovic has been banned from entering America and therefore cannot compete in the upcoming US Open. Djokovic has been banned entry to the United States as he has chosen not to take any of the COVID jabs. Earlier this year, the Serbian was refused entry to take part in the Australian Open for the same reason. He was initially told he would be allowed to take part in the competition and arrived in the country expecting to play. After a ridiculous legal back and forth between his team and the Australian government, he was subsequently refused entry, deported, and banned from the country for 3 years.
Rules are rules, and there are no special cases. That's the policy of the government and has been our government's strong border protection policies, and particularly in relation to the pandemic.
An interesting aspect in the case of the US Open is that unjabbed American players will be allowed to take part in the competition, as the rules only apply to foreign nationals. So there is a clear inconsistency in the treatment between foreign and domestic players at what is meant to be a competition which has the best stars from all over the world. The world's best tennis player being banned from competing in these Grand Slam tournaments is an absolute joke and an embarrassment to these countries and tennis in general. Whether a person is jabbed or not does not stop them from getting COVID or passing the virus on to anyone else. We've seen this most recently with US President Joe Biden, who has recently tested positive twice in a short space of time, despite the fact he's had the 2 initial doses of the jab and 2 additional booster jabs. Who knows how many booster jabs there will be in the future, or if it will be an annual thing like the flu jab, but we all know that these jabs do not provide immunity from the virus. There is also a clear ethical argument about limiting individual freedoms over putting something into your body you do not want or feel is required or necessary. We saw this ethical issue in the United Kingdom with the NHS staff. The government attempted to enforce a policy of compulsory jabs for NHS staff, but it eventually made a U-turn on this decision. It was not because it had had a change of heart over the policy, but because they were set to lose 80,000 NHS staff who had opted not to be jabbed. Before this U-turn, many NHS staff who would have not wanted the jab but felt they had no alternative in order to keep their jobs would have reluctantly got the jab. In my view, we should be doing the best we can as a society to move on from the awful past couple of years we've all had, with lockdowns, social distancing, isolation, and all the other negative consequences of the COVID pandemic. But instances like this are still ongoing, and it is extremely infuriating. Novak Djokovic has just won Wimbledon, meaning he now has an incredible 21 Grand Slam titles to his name. But instead of him competing and trying to win another title in America, he's been refused entry to the country, all because he refuses to put something in his body which he does not want. It must be said, I do admire Djokovic for standing up for his principles and not being bullied or pressured into taking these jabs. On this matter, he's clearly taken a good moral stance. But the Americans' decision to ban him is bad for the other tennis players, fans, and all connected with the sport. I hope you enjoyed that video. Many thanks for listening. Bye.